Not too long, eh?
I guess I owe you an apology.
Yeah, what'd you ask that old bag to come for anyway?
Well, I thought it might help.
Yeah, well, I knew there'd be a Blue. There always is with her and me. I told ya.
Sorry. Perhaps I'd better get my ears tested as well, eh?
Yeah, maybe.
The doctor's pleased with the results of the op. Those tests they gave you this morning show that your hearing's really improved.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry if I was a bit of a rat bag before.
Oh, forget it. Now that we've got to the root of your problem, all we've got to do is clear up the other things. Like proving to everyone that you weren't stupid. Just a bit deaf.
Yeah.
Look, I know I'm not supposed to be here, Mrs. Morris, but I've got to see B.
Now, you know that's not allowed.
Couldn't you swing it, please? It's real important.
Well, you better tell me what it's about.
Oh, just need her advice, that's all.
Bees?
Yeah, well, she's got lots of ideas about things. See, I'm in a bit of a spot. I know it's just rotten luck, but Wayne went and lost his job and, well, we're broke. I've been to see about the doll, but it's going to take about 2 weeks.
How do you expect Bee to help?
Well, she might be able to tell me where I can get a job or something.
What about the money you left here with?
We had a few expenses.
Oh, there must be a way to cut through the red tape. Look, you leave it with me. I'll phone the CES and see if they can hurry things along.
Oh, that's terrific, thanks. But, could you still tell Bea I dropped by to see her?
All right. I'll be in touch.
Thanks, Mrs. Morris.
Morning, Vera.
Meg,
I see you've started the mail. Thanks.
someone had to do it. I didn't know what time you'd managed to get in.
5 minutes isn't exactly losing the whole day.
10, but don't worry. I've finished. I was just wondering whether I should allow Smith to see this. She already thinks she's so important. That sort of rubbish will only make her worse.
What's wrong with it? I mean, all he's saying is that Debbie's getting on very nicely.
He thinks Smith is responsible for putting her on the straight and narrow. If anyone's responsible, it's us.
Does it matter? I mean, at least the program worked.
What program's this?
Ken Pierce was banned from Wentworth because of his sordid little association with Smith. He shouldn't be allowed to have any contact with her, even through a letter.
He was an activities officer associated with the prison for a while. He thought his daughter was heading for trouble, so we had her in here for 24 hours.
And it worked?
Well, according to this letter.
Oh, great.
She sorted herself out by going back to her mother. It had nothing to do with her ex-prisoner father or Smith. Once you've got a criminal mentality, nothing's going to help.
I don't know. If someone had helped the Baxter girl in time...
I'll just go and deliver this mail. Excuse me.
You've only been here a few weeks. You've got no idea what these women are really like.
Georgie Baxter could have ended up a totally different person if someone had taken the time to discover that she was deaf.
If you think this operation will have changed her attitude, you're going to be very disappointed.
Morning, ladies. Morning. Here's your mail. Emma. Shepherd. Smith.
Anything for me, Mrs. Morris?
Sorry, Doreen.
Aren't you going to read it now, Bea?
I'll get around to it later.
If I got a letter and I knew somebody like me who hardly ever gets any letters, well, I'd share it with them.
Well, good for you. Oh, by the way, Margot called in to see you this morning. I'm sorry. You know the rules.
Oh, yeah. Mrs. Morris, I understand George's operation was a success. I was just wondering when she was coming back.
Sometime this morning.
Oh, thanks.
Margot must be waiting for that money you've been keeping for her.
If they won't let her visit us, how can I get it back to her?
We should have figured out a way for her to take it with her.
Nothing we can do until we know what she wants done with it. You still worried about Georgie?
It's just that I made a complete idiot of myself over her.
Maybe you should make sure the feelings go both ways next time.
I told her about myself. I mean, how was I to know she was deaf? Anyway, the way she looked after me when I was sick, I thought she cared the same way, you know.
You're always getting yourself in a knot over some useless kid.
What do you mean by that?
No, I'm just saying that maybe you should stick to your own age group in future.
Tell me something. If you had a kid and she got involved with someone like me, what would you do about it?
I don't have a kid, remember?
Yeah, but I just want to know.
It's always been my policy to let live in that area, you know.
You haven't answered my question, Bea.
All right. If I had a kid, I suppose, like most other parents, I'd like to see her married and happily with kids of her own. Is that what you wanted to hear?
You mean keep her away from people like me, huh?
I try to protect her, yeah. If for no other reason that I've seen what it's done to you. I wouldn't wish that amount of unhappiness on anyone.
Haven't you got something else to do, Mr. Andrews? I'm quite capable of checking Baxter and myself. All those times in solitary seem to have taught her a lesson. Or perhaps that operation did do her some good.
I've plenty of time, thank you, Miss Bennett. I wanted a word with Georgina about coming to classes.
No, Georgie.
All right, Georgie. What do you say? You won't miss anything in classes now. I guarantee I'll have you up there with the best of them in no time. The reason you fell behind in school is that you missed half of what was being said. Well, now that that's past history, are you ready to give it a go? Georgie?
Huh? Now that you can hear properly, Baxter, I suggest you try listening for a change. And when you address a member of staff, you'll use his or her name.
I wish I was still dead, then I wouldn't have to hear your voice, you old bag.
Georgie.
That's just earned you another little stint in solitary.
You're just like Shirley Bright, always put me in solitary, you bloody dyke.
And you think she's going to change. She should be kept well away from the rest of the prison, Mrs. Davidson. If we're soft on her now, we'll never be able to control her.
Well, solitary's only made her worse. I think it's time we tried a different approach.
Such as?
I'd like to see her moved in with B. Smith.
Smith is one of the biggest troublemakers in here.
I agree with Miss Bennett.
Well, I think she could be a good influence. She relates well to the young ones, and she doesn't put up with any nonsense.
We're the ones to handle discipline, Mr. Andrews, not Smith.
Well, B's coming to classes. Now, if she can get Georgie to come, an education will be the making of her. She's a different girl now, Mrs. Davidson, now that she can hear. I think we ought to give her a chance.
Miss Bennett, would you arrange for either Lizzie or Doreen to be moved out, please? All right, Mr. Andrews. We'll see how it goes.
The only thing that an education does for these women is to make them think the world owes them a living.
Thank you, Miss Bennett. That will be all.
I guess she's right in a way. I have to build up their hopes, otherwise they wouldn't bother coming to classes. But if I build it up too much, they just get kicked in the teeth once they're released. Now, I only prepare them for jobs. I don't employ them.
Bet he writes a real good letter, eh, Betty? Be nice to know what's going on the outside.
Good, Doreen. Look, all he says is that Debbie's got herself engaged to a nice young bloke that's on his way up.
Well, who'd want to marry her? I reckon she's a real smart aleck. So funny.
I know. Oh, it's just that he thinks I had a hand in straightening her out, that's all.
Must be nice to have a bloke who reckons you're real special.
You can read your love letters in your own time, Smith. Now get back to work.
What's the matter, Vera? You jealous you haven't got a bloke to write to you?
You're to collect your things and move into Bryant's cell.
What did I do?
Mr. Andrews wants Baxter in with Smith.
Why, for crying out loud?
It's time your little pack was split up. Well, I don't know why you're looking so disappointed. You'll have a better chance with Burns. She's had warped relationships in the past,
That's
too.
not fair, and I don't want to be moved.
Now, can you get going before I put you on report?
Oh, bloody hell.
You can thank your friend Pierce for this. Being such a good influence on his daughter, Mr. Andrews thinks you can do the same for Baxter.
You showed my letter around the entire building, did you, Vera? Is that how you get your kicks, prying into other people's lives? One day I'm going to ram this flaming steam press right down her bloody throat!
Stupid flaming sticky beaks. Why are they always picking on me? What did I do?
Hey, it's not going to be that bad, you know? We're going to have some good times, you'll see.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Anyway, I don't reckon she should be put in here at all. She probably needs to be on her own in solitary.
Oh, now, hang on. I think we should give her a fair go.
Well, that's up to you. I better go and have a word with her.
It's just that we're all mates and she's not one of us.
I don't know what you're worrying about, love. You're not going to the end of the world. You're going to share with Jude. You get on just as well with her as you do with us.
Yeah, but it's just what Vera said. I don't want people thinking I'm still like that, you know?
Oh, now, come on. Since when have you ever worried about what Vinegar thinks?
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, you can sure see your operation was a success. A couple of days ago, I could have fallen flat on my face in here and you wouldn't have heard a thing, huh? That's what I wanted to talk to you about, Georgie. Falling flat on my face. I just wanted to say to you that I'm sorry. I got things screwed up, that's all.
You got me chucked in the pound.
Look, I explained to Mrs. Davidson that you just lost your cool because of me. I'd never do anything to hurt you, honest.
Like it, Nick, you fat old poofta.